Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the Mitt Flips, where I'm a full-time eBay reseller, and every 100 subscribers there's a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure to subscribe so you have a chance to win. I've got a bunch of stuff in my way when I'm walking around. I probably could have just went a different direction. I've got, I don't know, 16, 17 orders, something like that going out. It's a pretty good sales day. Good mix, some high, some low. Before I start pulling orders though, story time. Sit down for this one. Got a phone call from my father first thing this morning. He got a phone call very first thing this morning from UPS, I assume. And they said they were trying to track down, I don't know, this is the part that confuses me of why they contacted my father. I'm guessing because he ships a lot of stuff. Maybe they had his name on file and they could make out the last name, or they could make out my name, but had no contact information for me. Looked up by last name in their system and found his name with the same town. That's only way I can kind of come up with this. What I assume is a Mikhail mystery box came down the belt, as they referred to it, which probably was really actually the belt, like the the package feeding belt, with a label crumpled up on the wrong box that is for here, and then no label on another box. And they said when they opened it up, it was just a jumbled mess of stuff. So my dad's like, oh, he even said, I think that's a Mikhail mystery box. So that one's going to come here today. But the problem is there's two. I'm hoping that the label for the one was just stuck to the other box on accident, and then both boxes end up here today. If not, that's going to be an issue to figure out. Unfortunately, it'll have to be probably figured out on Mikhail's end. I don't know. We're friends. I'll just message him or call him and figure it out. But it was just very weird that they reached out to my father to try to get the package to me. I don't know. It's the processing center is one town over. There's a possibility somebody in that place, because of how small my town is, a lot of people do travel outside to the neighboring towns for work. There's a possibility somebody in-house knew who he was, something like that. That's a possibility. That's, that small town stuff where you might not know somebody, but you know somebody, that kind of thing. But just such a weird way to wake up, because my dad, he called me right after he hung up with them, and it was very early this morning, and it was the first time in many moons that I attempted to sleep in. And by sleep in, I mean attempted to sleep in till like 8 o'clock. That didn't go as planned. But either way, one of them should arrive today. I hope both of them arrive today, but that's something to figure out when it happens. If it happens today, and I haven't edited this video yet, which I doubt I will, I'll put that in there. I'll put that information in. I'll jump in somewhere. Probably here. So if it doesn't happen, there's just an awkward pause right there. Update on the Mikhail mystery boxes. They arrived safely. The boxes are pretty beaten, but that shouldn't be a problem. It's never been a problem before. And actually, I was delayed on putting this update in because they arrived that day. And since then, a third has arrived. So you can look forward to some Mikhail mystery box unboxing videos. I'll probably have one out next week. I'll probably film one today and one will be out next week. But just so weird. I still can't figure it out. My best guess is they opened a phone book, went to the last name, and then picked either the only one that had a house phone. Maybe he's at the top of the list for a house phone. Or maybe, because he lives my dad lives about a mile away, maybe it was the closest my last name address to me. I don't know. There's not really any other reason why they would have his phone number, get his phone number, call a random person. I don't know. I don't get the answers to it, but I'm glad they arrived. I can't wait to see what's in them. I know one of the items that's in there, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. I think it's going to be probably not a lot of money, but it's going to be very interesting. Let's pull some orders. C3 is a Nike sports bag. C1, 2, 3. I probably should just move this box that's under my feet. it's mostly empty at this point. Right here, I'm pretty close to all the way through the books, at least pretty close to processing them. This is what I have left. I got a bunch sitting up by my desk, and then I have 2 boxes. And then once that's done, I will probably not this winter. I'll probably wait till it's warmer out when I'm going to do a little bit of a book sale. Basically come to my storage unit. I'll have all the books out. Give me whatever you want. $5 a bag, $1 a bag. I don't care. It's just better than me throwing them away or burning them or something. I know, burning books. There's a million copies, whatever. Eventually things do become worthless and you do have to do something with them. But I do have to go back through all of them. And there's a few like Kipling. I'm going to do some bundles. There's, or I have a bunch of maybe Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew. There's certain titles where in the back of my mind, when I'm going to come back to these, make some bundles at a later date. For the bag, $11.50 plus shipping. Yeah, that weighs over a pound, surprisingly, but it's a fairly big bag. It probably won't fit into I could fit this into a flat rate, USPS flat rate envelope, but I won't. I probably, because I would have to really scrunch this here. I don't know. I know as a buyer, I wouldn't be super happy about it, but if I can get it without having to jam it in there, I'll do it that way. If not, not a big deal. They paid for the shipping, so it doesn't affect me in any way. Next up, A2 is vintage travel tree shoe thingies. Not shoe horns. What are these things called? Like shape savers or something. But these right here, I got a few sets of these in Mikhail mystery boxes. These are not worth buying. Maybe if you got them for free and you sold them in a large lot, but in general, for those, because they're bigger, $6.29 plus shipping. But the shipping, I'm going to have a decent amount, because it's $12.75 in shipping. I won't pay that, but that's what they paid. So I will have fees on that $12.75. So I'll have fees on the $12.75 plus the $6.29. That eats up a lot of that $6.29. And because it's a Mikhail mystery box, I paid around $1. So even at 50 cents, not a good buy. I would never buy those. And I've said that before. There's a fefew things that come in the Mikhail mystery boxes that I would never buy at a garage sale or a thrift store, but because they came in the box, I paid less than $1. It's way less than $1, but that's what I go with. Because some boxes, it worked out to around $1 item. Some boxes, like the Wigs, it worked out to like less than 10 cents an item because there were just so many. Next up, it's a book. Babysitters Club, Poor Mallory, right here. And the only reason I listed this one individually is because I have more than one copy, so I can't really put it in the lot. You don't want a lot with 2 of the same book in it. Doesn't really work out. $5.69 free shipping. Not a lot of profits, but I was listing books at the time. I probably actually bought that. My oldest, for a while, she got onto Boxcar Children and Babysitters Club. And then once she realized that she actually enjoys reading, when the things that she's reading are enjoyable to her, that's the key. Kids, adults, everyone loves to read. People that say, I don't like to read, you're reading the wrong books. You're reading the wrong thing. Everyone likes it. It's human nature to enjoy it. It's storytelling in your mind. It's the ability of your mind to create the picture of what you're reading is 1,000 times better than what a movie can do because it's limitless. You just got to find the stuff you like. But either way, Babysitters Club, she graduated onto a little more mature stuff. Next up, C4 is a vintage Wee Woods Pets. C1, 2, 3, 4. And I think they're Christmas ornaments. Yes, right here. Is it these? It's gotta be these, right? I couldn't really see the picture because I don't wear my glasses most of the time. But is it these little teddy bears? It's not these little teddy bears. Okay. I think it's also not on C4. Yes, it is, but just like I said, I cannot see. I'm not wearing my glasses. These cute little wooden Christmas ornaments. I think this was in the box of Christmas ornaments I'd gotten from my dad's farmhouse when he closed it down and sold it. So cost of $0. $18.99 free shipping for those. Christmas ornaments, I have if I get the opportunity to send an offer, aggressive offers, not on these ones. This was just, that might not even have been on sale. That might have been that lucky in-between time where I don't run a sale, which is for, at the most, hours, and usually I'm sleeping, so it's not really a good sales time for that, but $18.99 free shipping. But yes, as I was saying, the Christmas ornaments or anything Christmas related, Halloween related, holiday related, out of season, if I get an opportunity to send an offer, I'm sending an aggressive offer, because if not, I gotta wait till it comes back around to the season. Christmas does sell all year. Halloween does sell all year. But of course, the number of people buying those things, the opportunity to sell those things goes much further down. So you can hold out till the season comes back around. I'm not looking to do that. Next up, D2 is a Mattel Imagine Next dinosaur. D2, this guy right here, with these kind of creepy eyes. It's like a clear plastic, of course, and then they're set in there. That makes them very creepy. I don't know, does this do something? It's got a button. Oh, his wings come out. Ah. Oh, it's I mean, this is not Jurassic Park, but it's the, you know that part. That scared the bejeebas out of me when that movie first came out. $9.99 plus shipping on that item. I got that in, you know what it was? My dad had picked up a tote, a large tote of toys at a garage sale. I think he paid $10 for the whole thing, and I think I gave him 20 bucks. That's always his kind of mindset, where he'll get a super amazing deal. He's looking for a double up, which is still an amazing deal for me. That's kind of how that process works. He'd rather show up at my house and go, hey, you want this? I paid $5 for it. Give me 10. He's doubled his money in an instant. So for him, that's still great. And for us, it was a ton of listings, and it's all in that, you know, $9.99, $14.99 range, even a little cheaper sometimes. But when you got bulk and you get it at a good price, where the price per item is sub $1, sub 50 cents, it's good stuff. Next up, just sold one of these the other day. B5 is a Corning G5C. And I know exactly where it is, because it was literally just the other day. And you'll see I have some more of these shoe keeper type things. Those ones are cedar, so they also keep your shoes from getting funky, but there's just not enough money in those. Don't buy them. And then, like I said, G5C with the ribbed or fluted. Put both into your listing if you can. It does get you some extra money. They are more, I guess, more sought after, more desirable. It's not a ton, but there is a difference. $6.29 plus shipping. I don't know where that's going, but they paid a lot in shipping. Probably Florida. It's going to Los Angeles, California. So that makes sense. All right, next up, C5 is a Cascade CSR youth helmet. C5 tucked back here. And this is one of those items that I was sending out real aggressive offers on immediately. Not like waiting to see if it would sell. I think this is it's a lacrosse helmet. You can tell because it's like longer. I don't know why that is a thing, because like normally if it was, say it was like hockey or something, you'd have a helmet and then a cage, but with lacrosse, it's like they have a jaw piece as well. Maybe because it's, you know, almost contact sport, but it is a contact sport, that kind of thing. I have no idea. I don't know how lacrosse works, but the reason I did that immediately is because it's large. And even though it was, you know, worth a decent amount of money, got it in a Macau mystery box, paid less than $1, something taking up that amount of space, I would like it in here and out of here as fast as possible. Move it along. And I still got $25 plus shipping. So it wasn't like I got nothing. And I think it was listed $39.99 plus shipping. And it is going international to Australia. So this shipping seems crazy. Okay, never mind. Normally what they would do, they must have updated this because it was not confusing, it was stupid. Let's put it that way. It would always, the shipping, when you'd have international through the global shipping program, it would tell you how much shipping you were getting total when me as the seller, I was never getting all that money. So there's no reason to tell me how much it was, no reason to show that I got that amount of money. It's a good way to mess up somebody's books or mess up their mindset of how this all works, because they paid around just under $50. They paid $49.96 in shipping. But they paid me $12.05. But it used to, when you would, see if there's any information on here you can't see. No, it's just their username. But it used to, right here, where it says the shipping total, it would say the whole huge $50 in shipping, which is a bit confusing, because then when it pops up a sale, it'll tell you how much they paid. So-and-so paid this much. And then you look at it and go, this makes no sense. Why would they have given me this much money? They didn't. But it does look like eBay corrected that. So that's great. Chalk one up for eBay. But they didn't fix it, because as I look at my computer, it has the total on the computer that they paid, but on the phone app, they've corrected it. So just when I go to pat them on the back and give them 1 point, chalk one up for the bad guys, then they can't even do something fully. They fix it on one end, they don't fix it on the other end. Probably they have two completely different departments that handle your browser version and your app version, and they don't communicate. Ugh. The way big businesses run, it shocks me that they're big business. It's so shocking that they're big business. I do have something to talk about as far as eBay business and how I think they actually did something right and they're actually gonna expand in a positive way. It won't fit into this video. I'll make a note right now. It'll be in the next video. But to give you a little bit of a hint, eBay bought out a couple companies to solidify a part of their company that I thought was gonna fail, and now I think is gonna be terribly successful and make me a little sad. So next video, I'll make sure to cover that. Next up is an album, Jefferson Airplane Volunteers. Okay, well, it's under volunteers, so you guys are probably staring at it going, Drew, it's right there. It's right in front of your face. How do you not see it? Well, because it was put in alphabetically as Volunteers, the name of the album, instead of Jefferson Airplane, the name of the band. I got $8 free shipping for that one. That will, of course, go media mail. I'm going to go ahead and pack these ones up and then do another run. I've started to really like doing that. It keeps the workspace from getting overwhelmed. All right, to anybody that noticed, I grabbed this dinosaur here, but there was a second one on this shelf. I caught it before it went out, so that's a plus. A major plus. But I could not continue without talking about this. Are these, I'm not a huge, I know Jefferson Airplane, but I'm not a fan as in I've watched them or anything to any extent. Are these their real faces? This can't be their real faces, right? Like this is some type of editing where, his head is out of place and their smiles here look almost psychotic. I mean, murderous and psychotic. And then this one, those aren't her real lips, are they? This is in some way doctored. It has to be, right? Please let me know. Anybody, any Jefferson Airplane fans out there, are those their real faces? Because if so, that is the creepiest band I've ever seen in my entire life. Bands like that don't get gigs nowadays because you have to be so out in the open. It's a sad world that matters now, but if that freak show showed up at my venue, I don't think I'd be too happy. Please tell me that's not their real faces, that this hodgepodge of people didn't happen to meet each other and say, hey, you got a weird face, I got a weird face, let's make a band. Not trying to pick on anybody if it's for real, but honestly, look at these are faces you aim for if you're making a murder movie. These lips are unfortunately something people aim for nowadays, but they don't come naturally. And I don't think they were doing the Botox injections back then. Very weird. And I had to turn the camera back on just when I thought the weird was over. Look at the inside of this thing. So I don't know how this would have any connection to what they're, I don't know what's going on here, but this is obviously a peanut butter and jelly. but this side is peanut butter and jelly, and then this side is peanut butter. Who does double peanut butter? That, please tell me that's not a thing people do. But also, chunky. I don't care what anybody else says. Chunky. Chunky, 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 chunky. Extra chunky. Super chunky. Throw some peanuts on top of the chunky. That's the way to go. We're not allowed to have chunky in my house because I have a baby, and we're not going to buy 2 types of peanut butter. But someday, I will have chunky peanut butter again. All right, got those all done. This is the most boxes, I don't even know if I'm halfway done yet, but this is the most boxes I've used in months in a shipping day. I mean, many months. And it's very coincidental, but many months since I've used that many boxes. And I don't know if I mentioned, so I'm going to mention it again, that the Franklin electronic Bible paid $2, sold for $200. That was the thumbnail. It got returned. It was new old stock. So, of course, I can't test it, and they tried new batteries, and I did get it back, and here's the problem. Okay, power's on, and then you get these dead lines in it. To anybody that's ever handled a Game Boy, that's a very common issue in those, original Game Boy. And I have looked up videos before on how to repair that. I didn't go through the process because for me to resell a Game Boy, the difference in money wasn't worth my time and effort to do it. Basically what it was is the contacts on the back, they get overheated or damaged or whatever, and you just hit them with a heat gun or a soldering iron, and you reconnect all those contacts. So I still haven't seen what it's worth used now, which is the real kick in the butt. But if it's still because it was a $200 item new, if it's still a $100 item, I'll probably see if I can get it apart and see if I can repair it. Or maybe at that point, I might even send it off to somebody and get it back and all that kind of stuff and still make some money. $2 into some amount of money. But I have a feeling it's not going to be a complete loss. And since I'm talking about that, I had more than one viewer when I had said, items like this, returns, don't take it to heart too bad because you're not losing out on the $200. You're losing out on the $2 you paid for it and your time. And I speak off the cuff, no script. I rarely jump back in and edit something, or sometimes I'll add a little thing if it really has to be said. But enough people mention that I guess I will say it. Of course, if you have to pay return shipping on a large item, a stereo unit, you are eating that cost as well. But the point of everything I was saying wasn't that returns are a zero loss, is that they're not as bad as they seem. That was really what I was trying to get across. That was the point I was trying to make, and I guess that fell a little short, so I just wanted to clear that up. All right, next thing going out. It's books. It's a books. It is classic big golden books, and I think they're tucked down here. Yes, they are. And these ones are from my childhood book collection, and they're these big oversized golden books that you'd get at the Kmart. We got Woody Woodpecker, Pinocchio, Robin Hood, and 3 bedtime stories. Let's see if we can figure out. We got 3 Little Pigs. I don't know, something with kittens. And I see a bear, so maybe 3 Little Bears? Yep, there's the other bears. Kittens with mittens? I don't know. I don't know what that 3rd story is going to be. Mitten kittens? I don't think that's it. For those, $15 free shipping. And with these oversized books like this, I will put 1 loop of small bubble around them, and then I just put them into a poly bag. This right here, this stack of books, for something to happen to this, to damage this, to bend this, would be a significant amount of damage beyond the normal assumed possibility that I take. So that's as far as that goes. And you do have to do that. You do have to, I used to say, and I used to do, pack things so that if something bad happens, like if a truck runs over it, it'll still be okay. You can't do that. You'll never make any money. It works. It's unfortunate when it does happen, where literally a truck runs over something, but you can't pack every package as if that's going to happen, because you won't make any money. And the few times that something like that does happen, the just complete loss will work out better than overpacking every single item forever. Mostly what I did to circumvent that is I switched to items that don't break. That made that much easier. Next up, it is 2 on the same order. So like always, I don't know if they're a repeat buyer just because of today or if they've bought something before, but it is, they're in the same bucket, so I might as well grab them at the same time. It is 2 Kemper Originals. It is C5B 13 and C5B 4. C5B, here's C5B 4 and C5B 13. Kept moving around, sitting on top. All right, is these 2 here. I did have, and this bummed me out, I had somebody leave me feedback on one of the wigs, and they left me a neutral feedback. Neutral feedback for me is the worst. It doesn't really affect your metrics in any way, but it's always, and I mean always, that they were displeased with the product. And feedback is not product feedback. It is seller feedback. It is how is it packed? How did it arrive? Did it arrive safely and on time? And was it a good deal? Neutral feedback wasn't as pretty as I expected. What do I do about it? So we got a Kemper Original. It's a 1011. It's a Nicole 1011 Auburn and a Diana 1011 Blonde. They're both very cute and curly. They're very reminiscent of Little House on the Prairie. Both of those, wow, great. $17.99 free shipping, and I'll get to combine, so I save some money on the shipping and make some more money. That's great. $17.99 though, that's pretty high end for the wigs. Next up is a vintage gold pearl tie tack B3D2. I'll have to grab the whole thing anyways. I don't know why I stalled. And it's this one here. And in all actuality, this could be a real pearl. I have no idea. But when we were listing it, I said, put faux pearl. I don't think it is, but how would I know? How would I know? How would I figure that out? Not a pearl expert. I don't know if I've ever seen a real pearl in my life. It's a possibility, but not something that lives in my memory banks. $8 free shipping on that one. Next up, B3C is a Bare Minerals makeup brush. B3C, I see it in B3C, this one here. And I got this with a bunch of other ones in a Mikhail mystery box. Bare Minerals, yep, double-sided. And I think that's the last one. $9 free shipping on that one. I'm pretty sure it was listed $12.99 or $14.99. But when I've sold a bunch of something and it's towards the end, it tells me less desirable or harder to get rid of or overpriced, time to go, $9 free shipping, heading out the door. Next up, B3D is a vintage Rust Doll. B3D. This one right here, which I still cannot believe I have some left. Still can't believe it. That one there, $13.49 free shipping. Ooh, here's a good one. Next up is a Cross Black Matte pen. I think it's the one with the gold on it. Gold accents. Okay, this is a cross. This is not a cross. This is not a cross. So it has to be this one. This pen right here, I think this one came in a Mikhail mystery box, but I'm not positive. You know, I've gotten pens a couple different places. Hard to keep track of where each one came from. But that one right there, $44.99 free shipping. That's awesome. I think it was listed $49.99. So I'm very okay with that. And we got 3, 6, got 7 pens left. 7. Hey, back-to-back good sales. Next one up on the desk, Air Jordan 13 Retro. All right, I think it's these. Right here. I will, of course, double check. What do we got? We got 415744. That is those right there. Double check in here. I see this one has a sticker on it, and this was one that had a little stain. I think these are new, but it has a little stain here, so let me cross-reference that in the listing. I did have more than one pair of these, and I think it's possible that I accidentally flip-flopped the pairs because this little stain right here was not detailed in the listing, and I can't imagine that Jen would have missed that when she was listing it, so probably on me on that one. Hopefully that's not an issue. My luck, that will 100% be an issue. But for those right there, you know, if they ask for an extra 20 bucks off or something, I'll just do that. $124.99 eBay shipping, because now it goes through eBay. If it goes through Authenticity, it goes through eBay. You don't handle any of the shipping. Overall, that is a net gain for me. I don't have to use my expensive boxes. I can literally ship it in a giant box. It does not matter, and I don't got to worry about how much that weighs, what the size is. That's okay with me. Next up is a hat. It's a vintage Dorfman Pacific. Should be fairly easy to find. It is very white, and I think it's corduroy. Boom. This one here, right? Yes, with the eagle on it. I was just confused because it didn't say Dorfman or Pacific or anything else close to the front of that listing, but is this Alaska with an eagle rope braided right here corduroy hat. Very dingy and gross. And for that hat, $11 free shipping. The hat's not selling too great. My assumption is that hats sell much better in the warmer months. That kind of hat, snapback hats, things like that. Because of course, like in my area, I wear one of these from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. This is not a style. This is not, I'm not trying to look cool by wearing a hat all the time like this. It's cold. I'm cold. I also have terrible circulation, so my hands are freakishly cold all the time. People don't believe me, and then I say, don't touch it. It's like a corpse. It's great. All that jibber jabbing, that was actually the last one going out. So pretty good day, lots of boxes. Very weird. Not something I'm used to anymore. Used to be carload. Just to have 10 sales would still be a carload. Well, that's gonna be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other.